Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Simeona Martinez. I'm sorry I haven't made a video in some time. I've been busy, working, and I'm in remission, so I'm kind of detoxing. Let's get straight to the point. I recently went to a brunch with other women, and I was super excited to meet women my age and who were like-minded. Unfortunately, when I arrived there, the whole atmosphere, the climate was competitive and catty and kind of counterproductive, and it made me really sad, and it was really frustrating, and it really got me thinking about women and how we are looked at in society and how we look at ourselves and look at each other. I'm at a point in my life where I've reached this happiness and this inner peace, and like I always say, the only true crime of happiness is is an inability to share it with others. I can't talk. The only true crime of happiness is the inability to share it with others, and I live by that. I breathe that. When I'm happy, I try to give other people good vibes and give it to other people, because it's a gift and it's freedom. Happiness is freedom. For that moment, you're not thinking about things that make you sad or things that you're worried about. You're free, and I think that that's just a wonderful thing to have, and so wonderful that I just want to share it with others. And I want women to be secure, all of us to be secure in who we are. And I understand how it is, because, we're constantly being compared to other women, that have standards in beauty that's really not attainable, because they don't even have that, We're held to unrealistic standards. And the worst thing we do is compare ourselves to each other. The way I look at it is that we're all part of a puzzle. Everyone is their own piece. And our whole object, our whole objection in life is to come together and make a masterpiece, And each piece matters. No piece is more valuable than the other, because every piece we need in order to make the full picture. And I think that's that's a perfect analogy for how women, are. We can't compare ourselves, because everyone's going to be a different shade, a different size, a different type. And it doesn't make you any less of a piece, or it doesn't make you belong any less just because someone has maybe, a corner, or someone has, more color, or is a little bit vibrant, more vibrant than you. Your piece still matters. And I think a lot of times women get into this thing where we're comparing ourselves to each other, and what that does is it doesn't affect the woman that you're comparing yourself to. It affects you, and it brings you down, and we kind of create this bubble around us of negativity, because insecurity is fear, and fear is the worst feeling, because it can mimic anything. It mimics, hopelessness, insecurity, and bitterness, and that's what fear is. And we kind of create this bubble around us. And if, we wanted to be happy, if we wanted to meet the perfect mate, or meet the, get the perfect job, or be successful, we kind of prohibit those things from coming in, because we're so busy comparing and so busy, worrying and bringing ourselves down, that we can't look up and say, hey, wait a minute. There's a whole world out there waiting for me. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. Every piece matters, and no one is more valuable than anyone. And we're all meant to be here. And you have to tell yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm worth it, I'm supposed to be here. As most of you know, I didn't have parents. My parents did not take care of me. They gave me up. They did not love me. And that's hard when you don't have an example of love. But I'm completely opposite. I love people. I love, and I'm happy, and I want to share good feelings and be good to people. I'm completely opposite of that. And I guess it's because I know that. Just because I came from a place of absolutely no love doesn't mean that makes me, that breaks me, that determines who I am. I'm so much more than that. I'm so much more than my struggles, than, you know, anything having to do with that. I'm so much more. I'm a woman, and I have so much more to offer, and that's what we need to, you know, really, really, really enforce in each other. You know, I'm not your competitor. I'm supposed to be your companion. I'm supposed to be your keeper, and I think we kind of lose sight of that sometimes in comparing ourselves to each other, because no two pieces are alike. We can't all be alike, because that's not going to make a complete picture. And we can't mimic each other. We can't pretend to be a different piece. We're only able to work with what we have. And we've all been given a lot. And sometimes we can't see that if we're consumed with negativity. You got to be who you are, you know, and own that. Because when you're negative, it only brings you down. It doesn't bring the person down. It brings you down. And you can be loved, and life can get better, and it will get better. And it will continue to get better if you love yourself. That's the answer to everything. Just love yourself, and good things will follow. Because when people see that that you love yourself and that you're happy, that attracts good people. And you got to remember that. One last thing, you know, like, I know you can Google me and you can see me at the Alex Cross premiere. I didn't look like myself. I was, you know, bigger, and I was bloated, and I had chemo the next day. And I could have decided to stay home. I could have said, well, you know, and after a while, when it first happened, I was like, oh my gosh, should I have done that? Should I have done that? You know? But I'm glad I did. Because you know what? No matter how I swing it, that lupus is a part of me, but it's not all of me. And it doesn't make or break my happiness. And yeah, I may not look like, you know, how I look now, how I look normally, but you know what? God brought me there for a reason. And I'm going to be proud of who I am. And I'm not trying to squeeze into a different puzzle piece. This is how my piece is looking right now. And I'm going to own it. And that's what we have to do. And I didn't care if people like said, oh, you know, look at her, she looks fat, or she's fat, or whatever. Because you know what? The same people who do that, you don't have the courage to just sit up there and do what I did and then go sit in a chair the next day and get chemotherapy. You don't have the balls to do that, but I did. But I didn't do it for you. I did it because I deserve to be on that red carpet. I did what I did. I went, and God blessed me with a job, and I did it, and I stood up there. You know, and it is what it is. It's like we're all not the same, and no one's perfect. Everyone has their cross to bear, and it's not about bringing each other down. It's not about comparing. It's not about who's better, who's brighter, who's thinner, who's a corner, who's, you know, a unique shape. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. All that matters is you. And one thing you have to remember is that it's your life. Not your fear's life, not your insecurity, not your doubt. Don't allow that to consume you. You know, I always write that I don't like reality TV, and I'm not, you know, I'm not judging in a way that's trying to bring any women down, but what I am saying is we could do better. You know, that seeing these women and you know, fighting and pulling each other's hair out, and, you know, trying to be bad girls and all that's we're better than that. You're better than that. They're better than that. That's not who women are. All of us aren't doing that, and that's the representation that we're allowing to put out there as women, and sometimes even as African Americans. It's setting us back. That's not who we are. That's not what everyone's doing. And it's become the way of, you know, the way of some television, and the way of what people put into their bodies and put into their minds. And it gets you in that way of thinking sometimes. And, you know, but we can't blame everything on that, because that's just one piece of it. It's really about working with who you are. And remember, we're all part of the same masterpiece, but it takes every piece to make it whole. And you don't want to be that one piece that just won't go in, that we just can't find a place for, because you've built a bubble, you've built a surface around you that you just won't fit anywhere. Not because you don't belong, it's because you choose not to. So don't do that. Love yourself. Love each other and be good. And I think it's Thursday, so like throwback or whatever that means, right? All right. Enough being weird. But can we just talk about cat? Okay, no, I won't even do that. But I just want to say, like, catfish, that's like some, okay, all right. Bye.